Hey, hi, this is Manjuna Chandriya. Welcome back to the channel. Today's session we'll be learning how to create a housing loan amortization schedule. This is the schedule which we have created and we're going to replicate the same thing. The principal amount, the number of years of the loan which we are taking it, the payment per year. So obviously 12 months, 12 payments, annual interest rate, the interest rate what we are going to paid, we'll be paying, interest paid, how much we are paying paid for the entire the loan schedule, the name of the person, the bank, the loan start date, and the loan end date. A year we're trying to get the month, EMI date, each month what will be the EMI dates, and monthly EMI, what the monthly EMI amount, principal amount, the interest amount, the outstanding balance. If you come down, you can see 60th month it becomes 0. So we are going to create all this here, replicate same thing this session. So let's move on to the next sheet. So this is the schedule. This is nothing but I've just added the names here. Hope you can see it. I'll make it a little bigger. Okay. So I've just nothing. This is nothing but I merged these cells. I just added this heading as housing loan calculation. The same thing similar. Principal amount, number of years, payment per year, annual interest rate, name, everything I have taken it here. Interest, and we're going to create a formula. For this, we will be using a couple of formulas. That is nothing but PMT. PMT is for payment monthly. What will be the EMI for monthly? For that we use this function. PPMT is nothing but the periodic principal amount owed by a loan. Say example, first month what will be the principal amount we will be paying it. On 10th month what will be paying the principal amount. Okay, the principal would be reducing it. The EMI, PMT EMI would be the same. Okay, this will be the monthly EMI. This will be the principal amount, that is what we paid for the first month, and second month would also get reduced here. The principal, whereas the payment monthly EMI would not, it will be constant for the 60 months or 50 months, how much months you are taking it. Okay, so these two functions, and we'll use a frequency function, couple of functions here. Let's try using it for the month number of months. So I'll keep this 10,000. We are going to take the loan, and number of years will be 5. The payment per year will be 12 months. 12 payments will be doing. Let's say we are taking it a interest rate around 7.5. Okay. The name of the person is Raju. The bank is ABC. The loan starting date is the 10th January 2021. The loan ends would be, we need to calculate the loan end. Okay. We just click. I'll delete this one. Let's calculate the end date here, and we're going to create the formula for all this information. Okay. Let's start. First, try to find the end date here. End date can use a function called as ed8, edate, open bracket. So open bracket, it says the start date. Start date, obviously, start date is nothing but this is the loan start date, comma, and number of months. So obviously, 5 into 12 is 60 months, right? So I'm going to multiply this 5 years into 12 months. In a year, 12 months, right? So I'm going to take this. Okay. Here, if you close, it will show you January 26. But the actual, for us, the loan start date, the loan payment start from the 1st of January. Obviously, this would not be the correct month that the loan gets ended. Loan ends in the December month. For that, what we do, I just closing this bracket for the months. I'll just minus it by 1, just to show you why I'm doing it here. I'm just minusing this. So the loan ends in the December 10th. So 12 months, right? So it ends in the last month of the year of 2025. We'll see why are we doing a minusing here. We'll see in further in this video. So we need to find the number of months, right? Frequency. So obviously 5 into 12, we multiply this 12 into 5, it will be 60 months. So I should get 60 frequency numbers, right? So let's try in doing that using a sequence number. C Q E and C. You can see open bracket. It's just number of rows. The number of rows we get 60 rows, right? 60 rows for 60 number. So I'll going to multiply 5 years into 12. Okay, I'm going to log this because these are being constant, and comma columns. Columns is how many columns we need? We need only in this column, right? Column B. So I'll put it as 1 year start. So start from the from where? From first, right? I don't start for first means first number. Then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and comma and steps. For each one step, it should not change. It should change, right? Right. One means it should be two. Means the difference between one and two is one, right? So I'll going to select a step. Step in each one step. It should jump. It should jump for one step only, not two. So if you close this bracket, hit enter. Now you can see 1, 2, 3. The example in this case, it says step right. If I change it to 2, the numbers will skip from 1 to 3. So now you see 1, 3, 5, 7. That should not happen, right? So that's the reason we need a step of 1 change. For every change should be one change. So now we got the 60 months. If we go down, so you see 60 months, change it to 6 years. Obviously, it will change it to 72, right? 72 months. Let's keep it as 5 months. Now data is 60 months. Okay, we are able to get the months here. Now we need to get the EMI date. What is the EMI for each month? So obviously 10th will be your constant month that we will be paying the EMI. So January first month will be January 10th, second will be February 10th, next will be March 10th. How to create that? Equals E date, open bracket, start date. Obviously this start date is this. I'll go to do F4 function to log because this is the constant one, comma, so number of months. So obviously number of months is this into this, right? I can use this plus this. But if I use this plus this and close the bracket, it shows the end date here. But I don't want the end date. I want the say January, February, March. I should get it right automatically. So that's the reason here instead of putting this, I'll going to remove this and keep the start date that is nothing but 10th January. Here we'll use the sequence date. So sequence help us to get the list of dates. So it says rows. Obviously we need to find the rows, right? That's nothing but 5 into 12. I'll go to log these cells. 5 into 12 is 60 months. So 60 months, comma, sorry, I think I did something wrong here. Selecting this F4, then comma. So this is done. 60 months, 60 rows. Columns, obviously one column, right? We need it only in C column. So I put it as 1 year. Obviously start. So start is nothing but I should start from the first. First is nothing but this month, that nothing but the January 10th is the first month we are paying it. So again 1, and the steps. Obviously I said for each month 1 month change. I want to change only 1 month. So it will jump for 1 month. So January, February, March. Please click OK. So why? Because I need to give a one more bracket to close. We are using two formulas. So now you can see it is jumping from February. So we need to get it from the January payment. So what we can do is here instead of using starting from 0. So starting from 0, why? Because we need to pay for the January month also. So that's the reason I have used here -1. Now you can see January 10th we are paying first payment. Last payment would be your 10th December. If we don't put this 0, if you put 1 year, the payment term starts from the February. Whereas it says don't start date is from January. So obviously your end date will be January 26th. That's the reason I have made a -1. If you remove this -1, obviously I'll get January 26th, right? But the problem is here it says February payment. We are paying from the January. That's the reason I am going to undo this. So this is -1. So that's the reason it comes at December. So here I am changing to 0. 0 means from the start only, from the start date. So that's the reason we have put it as 0 here. So now it ends in December 25th, 10th December 2025. So here the end date is also 10 December 2025. So we are able to match it. So we are done with the dates. We need to find the monthly EMI. As I said, will be using PMT for the monthly payment monthly. That is nothing but the EMI amount would be constant for the entire 60 months. For that, you use PMT, open bracket, the rate. Rate is nothing but this rate. This is annual rate. This divided by number of number of months in a year is 12. So I'm using because this is the annual rate. Annual rate is for entire year. Entire year has 12 months. So I'm dividing this rate into 12 months. I'll going to log these cells because this formula we need to copy it down for all the months. That's the reason. Comma per is nothing but the how many months you are paying it. So I am going to pay for 60 months. For 60 months, how need to do? You need to multiply this B3 nothing but number of years into number of months. So I'm going to log this similarly. So now we given the rate by dividing interest by uh, number of months in a year. This is nothing but number of years into number of months, that is 60 months. So because we are trying to linking the cells, because we can change the year, automatically the number of months also gets changed. So once NPR is nothing but the what is NPR? NPR is nothing but the principal amount. Okay, and close the bracket. I am going to freeze this using F4 because that is constant. So I made a mistake because I added I something here. So now you see here it says $200 and a monthly EMI. So if it's $200, I'm getting in minus sign. So what instead of because this is a EMI monthly payment, so it shows in negative balance. To change it, just put a after the bracket, just put into minus one. Into minus one obviously changes to positive. Just copy this formula down. This is your principal amount. It will stick on for entire year. Okay. Here we're going to find the principal amount now. This is the EMI for entire month. Entire year it will be the constant. So $200. Let's check the principal amount. Principal amount, as I said, you going to use the formula called as PPMT, periodical principal payment owed on a loan. So periodically we need to find how much we owed. So for that PPMT, open bracket, rate, obviously rate is nothing but the interest rate divided by this is the annual rate, so divided by 12 months. Okay, I'm going to log this using F4 functions. Okay, comma per. PR is nothing but the periodic. Periodic means like first period how much we are paying. So periodic is one. First month we need to see principal amount can reduce every month. Every month. That's the reason I'm selecting this per comma. NPR is nothing but the number of months. That is 5 years into 12 months. I'm going to log this F4 F4 comma. The final is the PV. PV is nothing but the principal amount. So I'm going to log that, but it's also constant here. Since I am locking all these cells using F4 function, dollar signs, so that when you copy this formula, this range is not changed. Close the bracket, hit enter. This is your principal. Again, it is coming negative. To change it, just enter the last column. You can add it as into minus 1. So minus 1, just multiply by that minus 1, it will changes to plus. The amount will not change, just the signs gets changed. Just double click. This is your actual principal amount you have paid. See, you can see the principal amount $137, and as the months grows, the principal amount will getting increased. By the time it comes to 12th month, it will be $199. Let's find the interest rate. Interest rate would be easier. Just minus the EMI, that's I think monthly EMI. What is the principal amount we have paid for that month? That would be a rest. It would be your interest amount. When you see this is your interest amount. When you add these two, would be $200 0.38, right? See, this $200 0.38 is nothing but the EMI amount. Just double click on it. By the time it comes to 60, it will be $1 something. It would be your paying the interest rate. Initially, uh, the interest will be more, the principal will be reduced, will be less. Now we need to find the outstanding here. Outstanding is how 10,000. So we have paid a, we need to reduce the principal here. The principal is 137. So I can't go principal minus. If I do this, okay, for this line it will work. For rest, it should be a cumulative, right? Outstanding. What is the actual outstanding? Because if you go down, these two amount should be minus the $10,000. That is not happening here. If we do down, again it's going a wrong condition, so because it's taking from here. So how to reduce, how to correct it? We'll go use equals 10,000. Okay, in this we are going to minus the principal amount, so minus sum. Okay, this is your principal amount, initial amount. I go to log this cell. I go to set a range. Again I'll select this range. So when you select and close the bracket, now you can see first, when you pay the first EMI, the actual outstanding balance will be 9,862. So when you drag this down to next row, okay, I didn't log the cell, so I need to log this before. Nothing but the principal amount will not change. So I'm going to log that. Hit enter. Copy the formula down. So now you can see, now it is taking this amount and minusing this two principal amount which we have paid for 2 months. We drag this down till down. Now you can see last month it is taking the entire principal amount from row number 8 to till year last payment and minusing the $10,000. So by the 60th month your principal amount become 0, right? Just taking here. Change the interest rate to, say we have changed it to 6.5. Now you can see interest, the EMI got changed to 195. Let's say we change it to $20,000. So now the EMI got changed and your principal amount. This interest paid is nothing but what we doing is just summing the total here. Just you sum this total, close the bracket. So it gives you what actual principal amount you are paying. So total, you can say overall paid is this principal plus the, the interest. So you are paying around 23,000. Let me do some formatting. Okay, let me color it. So we are paying around $23,479 when you, for the including 3,475 is your interest rate. So now you can see the rate is changed and the column. Say example, so I've changed it to December, right? Say for example, if I change it to 25th, so obviously now it's jumped to 2029. So dates getting automatically changed here. So this is not only for housing loan, you can use it for personal loan. I hope this session was helpful. Do let me know for any other things. I'll try to create a video on it. And thank you for your time. Happy learning.